Welcome to Entrepreneurs Conquering the World, how to build a global audience and profit from it. With your host, Carmen Ring.
Hello everyone, welcome to Entrepreneurs Conquering the World. I'm your host, Carmen Ring, and today I have with me Jordan Ancel, a successful serial entrepreneur, author, and artist. Welcome, Jordan. I'm so happy to have you in my show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Carmen. I'm very excited to be here.
Jordan has over 20 years experience in the entertainment and branding industry. When he moved from New York to LA, he also became one of the top casting directors for major advertising campaigns to include Fuji, AT&T, or Sony. But I'm going to let him tell you more about himself and about his career. Jordan, once again, welcome. Tell us more about you and how you got to where you are today.
Hi, thank you. So it's been a really interesting journey. Let me start off with where I am today, and then I'll tell you how I got here. So right now I have a boutique agency, and we specialize in branding, social media, and business development for entrepreneurs and artists. That includes anything from web production and design, photography, graphic design, and then training in social media, and then also managing social media for brands. We work with companies of all sizes, but we really love to work with entrepreneurs and small business owners, and also artists. How I got here was I've been an artist all my life. I went to art school for high school. I then got an MFA in theater. And then I became a very successful commercial actor. And then when I got married to my first wife, I decided to get serious about real work. And then I had the opportunity to go into web development, and I worked for a bunch of startup companies. I helped launch some really big companies. And then from there, I went into advertising and became the director of an ad agency, where I started a new media department. So basically what I did at the agency was I handled all of the online advertising and promotional content for movies, all the movie studios. So like we would build interactive games to coincide with movie releases. And then what happened was I saw that a lot of entrepreneurs had the same problems as really big businesses, and so did artists, because artists are entrepreneurs. We have to build a brand for ourselves to get our art out there, and then we have to have good business skills so we can market ourselves. And then entrepreneurs, especially small business owners, have the exact same problems. How do we grow our business through marketing? And then I became an independent consultant, and I've worked with a lot of different brands over the years, and I have a lot of different kinds of clientele these days, anywhere from business machines to streaming music services to film directors and people in the food industry. We represent some restaurants. We represent one of the most famous French butchers in the world here in Los Angeles. For his company, La French Butcher. So it's a really exciting place to be in, because I get to work with a lot of different people, and I especially work with artists because I'm an artist myself, and I really enjoy helping them find a voice and an outlet to attract more customers or more people to get their art published or sold. So. Yeah. And then I wrote a book too. That's right. I actually wrote a book for actors, having been an actor and been in and around the entertainment industry for about 40 years. So since I was very little, and my wife is a major agent in Hollywood. And the reason I wrote this book was because I knew actors didn't have any business skills. So I wanted to teach actors to have some business skills to help promote their career, because as we know, the entertainment industry is also a business. And I've also written some business books as well, smaller ebooks on communication and on management. And that can be applied to anything, to entrepreneurial endeavors, to relationships. So, and I do a lot of public speaking at entrepreneur events and also at artist events as well. So.
Okay, you gave us so much information, and now I have so many questions.
Okay, great.
So
Please feel free. Fire away.
let's start them. First, you said before you became very successful in your own business, you worked for some major companies. So I want to start over there first.
Sure.
Some major companies that are also international, or even if you worked locally with them, even if they are in LA or in New York where you previously lived, they are foreign companies like Le French Butcher that you mentioned. So
correct.
Even if they live locally, you deal with different cultures and with companies from around the world. Did you ever notice any differences in that? Is it different to approach somebody from France or somebody from US or somebody from maybe South America? I know in LA there's a huge Spanish market over there, a huge Spanish community.
Yeah, I think I enjoy working more with international companies and entrepreneurs from other countries. There's a lot of wonderful things about America, but I think doing business here is very difficult. I think people tend to be a lot more open to ideas and warmer overseas. I lived in New Zealand and Australia for a while, and doing business was just so easy there. It was just, hey, let's have a coffee, let's talk about some stuff, we shake hands, everything gets done, no problem. Here contract negotiations go on forever, you spend tons of money on legal fees, where, I find, working with people overseas or companies overseas, it's just a little smoother of a process. And also I get to travel and eat better food. So.
and it's interesting you say that, because in the way you described your career, you made everything sound like everything was so smooth and easy, and maybe this is how it looks now looking back, but I'm sure it wasn't.
It's I talk about, it's easy to talk about how or make things sound how easy they were, years later. No, but it's been very difficult. I've started a couple of different startups of my own. I've raised a lot of money for them. Very difficult. I've spent a lot of sleepless nights, and I still do, owning my own business. I mean, I really think that anybody who is in any kind of business, whether you work for a company or you have your own, it's difficult. And, because you want to do a good job, you want to, keep your employees happy, keep your customers happy, keep yourself happy, keep your spouse happy, which is a whole other full-time job, right? So, it's finding that balance of, work-life balance, which can be really difficult. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I have worked for companies, but I always felt like, it was to get an education in whatever field that was, and then I would always apply it to my own endeavors outside of that company. I think that people who have employers and are not entrepreneurs, I would beg to differ. I think that when you work for a company, you're what I call an intrapreneur, right? So, working with people in that level, it's very difficult to sort of shift their belief system and thinking about how they're really contributing to a greater vision of a company. I spend a lot of time on the phone with my clients, sometimes, especially international, 3, 4 in the morning, and, wanting everybody to be happy and feel more fulfilled and love their business. It's very difficult to do. And then balancing my own happiness as well. So, none of it is easy, and all of it is worth it, Now, if it sounds easy, it's because I really enjoy what I do, because I do everything, with this intention of wanting to create a better life for people, whether they work for a company or they have their own. So, it's none of it's easy, but it's absolutely fulfilling. So.
And you mentioned that you prefer to do business with people from overseas rather than US because of some of the the legal involvements and contracts and paperwork and all that. But how about when it comes to marketing? Do you have a different approach to attract these clients than the US clients? Do you use different marketing techniques, or it's all the same?
It's all the same. You know, every business lives and dies by one thing, marketing. And all marketing skills apply to any business. You know, whether you are a restaurant or you have a startup company that's in tech, or if you are a film director, or if you are a professional translator, all businesses must operate by the same principles for marketing. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have innovative ideas on how to market yourself, but there are very specific things that anyone can do that will work in any business. You know, especially with social media. And you know, it's very, you know, the reason I like working with companies or people overseas is not necessarily because there aren't contracts, because sometimes there are. I just feel like, you know, people tend to be a little bit more open and receptive to ideas, you know, and plus, you know, I've traveled a lot and I really enjoy other cultures, and you know, I love, you know, when I do travel, getting to know people, you know, so it's not necessarily. Well, I guess in some ways it is a little easier to work with people overseas, just because of, you know, because I appreciate their culture so much. You know, I guess if I didn't, it would be difficult, you know.
So is it in your plans? I know Italy is one of your passions, and you just came back from a trip there, and that's a place you're gonna like. Is it in your plan to expand more on these markets? Do you want to take your business more on these markets?
Absolutely. In fact, while I was there, you know, one of the places that I stayed, they actually need, you know, a new website, they need new marketing, they need all this stuff. So I'm going to be working with the owner of this amazing villa in Tuscany to get them up to speed on, you know, sort of more outreach and more engagement with potential customers. So very excited about that. I'm also going to be teaching someone via Skype on blogging and monetizing a blog and starting a business, and they're in the wine industry. So it's really, really cool. I'm really excited about that.
Talking about balancing personal life and work life, right?
Yeah.
You just went on a personal trip with your wife, and then you came back with some business contacts.
Yeah, exactly.
And then mixing wine and business. Now another example of.
Well, that's the best way to do any business, honestly, if you ask me.
And I know tell us a little bit about what inspired you to become an author, and if you use your books also as a marketing tool, and maybe if you're planning to have them translated to all these countries that you travel with, so you can conquer those markets more easily.
Great. So my book, which I wrote for actors specifically, it's called Behind the Lines: What It Really Takes to Make It as an Actor. The reason I wrote that book was because I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people succeed. I love actors. I used to be one many years ago. My wife represents actors as an agent. And, you know, what inspired me to write the book was my cousin called me one day, and he said that he had just taken an acting class and he would love my wife to represent him so he could be a TV star. It doesn't work like that, you know? And I thought, well, if my own cousin thinks that it's that easy, maybe I can, you know, sort of shine a light on what it really takes to make it as an actor. So I interviewed top agents and casting directors and filmmakers in Hollywood, because I've known these people for, you know, 30 years. And, you know, I wanted to inspire actors to say, you know, this is what it really takes. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, if you do the hard work, it can happen. But I wanted it to be an honest look at what it really takes to achieve success. And so that was sort of the impetus to write the book. Why I wrote the book is why I do anything in life, Carmen. It's because I like to help people. You know, I've decided that, you know, my purpose in life is to inspire people to create and live the lives that they want. So that's what all of my businesses operate from, my core belief that if I can help you grow your brand, you know, you can go on a great vacation with your husband or wife because you're making more money and you're providing a service that other people can enjoy. You know, if I can, you know, teach you social media so you can grow your audience, because that improves your standing in the community, or gets you more business, then I'm contributing in a positive way to your life. My book is an amazing marketing tool. Having a book is the best business card you can ever have. It really is, and I know you believe that as well. It's much more impactful rather than handing someone a business card to say, well, here's a copy of my book. Now, because I wrote that book, in fact, the very first book I wrote, which is a very short ebook on communication, effective communication, so that way you get what you want all the time. And what inspired me to write that book was because most people don't know the first thing about good communication. And I wanted to help people achieve a great level of communication so their relationships are better, so their businesses are better, so they get what they want, and they feel fulfilled. So the reason I write anything, and the reason I'm writing my next book, is also to inspire people. And when I say, oh, I've got this book, well, people just go, oh my God, I'd love to read it. And that's the best business card you can have. And because I've written some things, it's launched a whole new career for myself. I do a lot of public speaking. I speak at entrepreneur events. I speak at business events. I've gotten private coaching clients because of it, all because I've written some materials that people can access either on Amazon or through one of my websites. So it's an incredibly great marketing tool, and it's the best thing that anybody could ever do.
And do you have in your plans to maybe have this book translated maybe in Italian, or just to approach new markets, or maybe in Spanish, because you're surrounded by Spanish people in
That's right. Yes, I am. So the next book I'm writing, which is a book for everybody, it's not for a specific group of people like actors or entrepreneurs, it's for everybody. That's the book that I want translated into as many languages as possible. It's I think going to be, the book I wrote for actors is actually sort of, even though it's still available, I'm going to be doing a second edition. I'll probably get that one translated. The first edition, probably not so much, because a lot of things have changed in the industry since I've wrote it. So it's time for an update. So I'm probably going to pull that off the shelves. So yeah, my next book for everybody is going to be translated, and then my next edition for the actor book will probably be translated as well.
And I'm sure that's going to bring even more business to you. You're just going to have to find a way to serve them if they approach you in different languages.
Yeah, that's great. That's Google Translate app and, Rosetta Stone. And, maybe hire some people that speak other languages.
And nowadays they came up with some great technologies for even instant translation. So, I know in a few years that's not even going to be a challenge anymore. Now, I wanted to ask you in your business, in creating your business, you spoke a lot about your partners and your customers, how you like dealing with them, and how you find partners like this person in Italy. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your mentors. Do you have some people you look up to, somebody who inspired you, or somebody who coached you along building your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of business mentors, and I think it's important for anyone to have a mentor or a coach, no matter what you do. Life coach, business coach, I think it's all very valuable. One in particular is Keith J. Cunningham. He's an incredible businessman. He's based out of Austin, Texas. I have coached with him quite a bit. He's a phenomenally successful businessman, a really warm person. He's got some great books as well, about how to create a business plan, how do you look at your finances for your company. He teaches people how to buy and sell businesses. He's been he had a tremendous impact on me when I was doing my startup companies. I had 2 startup companies, both for dogs, because I like dogs. So that, he was incredibly valuable and so knowledgeable. I've had I've done 2-year training programs through a company called New Peaks, formerly Peak Potentials. I learned a tremendous amount of business, skills from them. And, all of those trainers and coaches have been pretty amazing. Adam Markell, Eric Frady, they've all been great. So I think.
And do you still do that? Is coaching and education something you do constantly, or you did it at one point and now you stopped?
Absolutely. So I have done a lot of different coachings. Again, I did this 2-year program, business training program through New Peaks, which was completely invaluable. I mean, it was so phenomenal. And it taught me a lot about other kinds of businesses. And it really actually spawned my a new passion for social media, and then I went on and started teaching people social media, having, worked with brands in advertising, because everything is social media based. So, I constantly study, I constantly read. I may not be in a class or a program, but, or have a coach, all the time, but I'm constantly reading books by people I admire. And I've become a coach as well, because I know how valuable it is to have a coach. And I coach entrepreneurs. I hold classes. I have a very small education program that I'm growing for small businesses, because I think it's really important. We're always good at, having the ideas, but then implementing it can be difficult. So you got to have a coach there to kick your butt and also to tell you what works and what doesn't work. So, it's very valuable to do.
Absolutely. And, I know it takes a lot of factors and there are a lot of things involved in creating a business, a successful business. If you would be to choose one thing that had the most impact in creating the success of your business, what would that be?
Don't do it because you want to make money. Do it because you want to help and serve as many people as possible. If you want to do something just to make money, go be a stockbroker, or sell some real estate. If you really want to have a business that you're passionate about, that helps people live to their greatest potential, and you operate from that kernel of inspiration in yourself, then you're going to be successful. So my success in all of my businesses comes from helping other people become successful.
And also from your passion. I know it's just as a message I want to give to the audience, that any passion can be turned into a business. I know you recently turned your passion for dogs into a business similar to Groupon. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had a company for a couple of years that was called Swaggle.me, where it was like a Groupon type of business, but only high-end dog products and services. So, yeah.
So you turned just because you said that you are mostly driven by passion and that's how you create success. I just wanted to show that. And I know at one point you even had was it a dating website for dogs?
Yeah, so that we never actually got that one off the ground, but I'd started a dating site for people who own dogs, where you can meet your mate and match your mutts, because a lot of people like dogs, and I've had friends who said, oh, I really like that guy, but he doesn't like my dog, and I thought, well, gosh, I love dogs, so why not introduce people through their dogs? We raised some money for that. We had a celebrity spokesperson for a little while. We could never quite get enough of the funding that we needed. The
reason why I mentioned that, I know this is not your main business with dogs. I just wanted to show that, while you are successfully running your own business in social media and website development and business coaching, you also have your passions on the side that you also, absolutely, I guess, is just the entrepreneur in you that's tending to turn them into businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I want to show that, the passion is what's driving you and what you do. And I know that the same way you love dogs, this is probably an example that a lot of people can relate to. In that same way, you also love helping people and social media and working through this to build your business. And that's what's bringing success to your business. That's how you have such a large audience, a huge database of clients, and how you work with people around the world, with multinational companies, and why people search you so much.
Exactly. To give you a really good current example of my current main business of my agency. Food and wine are a real passion for me. I love food. And so I work with, one of the top restaurants here in Los Angeles, one of the most famous French butchers, because the quality of food that they use and produce is nothing compares. It's all natural, it's the best quality, locally sourced, and that's really important to me because, when you locally source stuff, you build communities and you create more, better local economies. That's really important to me. So I've made it a point to really work with food companies, and they're not the only two food companies that I work with. So that's a passion of mine, which I use for my main business, and those are more of the clients that I want. So, like the wine blog that I'm going to be, getting off the ground with this guy, Chris, in Italy. And then the villa that we stayed in, the gentleman who owns it is also a chef and wants to bring people to his villa to experience his culinary expertise and cook for them. So, it all relates to my passion, which all relates to wanting me to help people. So yeah, you can take anything that you're passionate about, whether it's your main business or not, and turn it into something that can actually be a business. Even if it's just something small on the side, doesn't matter. Whatever you do, you can, whatever you're passionate about, you can do.
And I think everybody can sense your passion, even in your words. They can tell how much into your business are and how passionate you're about this. And we're getting close to the end of our time together. I know 30 minutes is not a long time. I'm happy we got you to share this time with us. And I know you have a surprise and a gift for our audience. I would like you to say a few words about that.
I do. So one thing I'd like to give everybody is a gift, and that gift is the gift of amazing communication. So if you email me, Jordan@jordanancel.com, that's Jordan, Jordan, @jordanancel.com, I will email you a PDF of my ebook called Get Your House in Order. And what that basically is, it's an ebook that teaches you really effective methods of communication to improve your businesses, to improve your business relationships, and to improve any relationship, actually. And it'll kind of shift your thinking about how you communicate with people. So I'd like to give that to everybody that's tuning in.
And thank you for your gift, and I hope everybody's going to take advantage of this. Your email might get blocked, so I hope you have storage on it. And just one last thing I want before closing here, I wanted to leave our audience with one last piece of advice that you give them. Say people are watching you and they want to get their business to the size where your business is at, and they feel they don't really know how to, they don't maybe know how to approach the market, or, just give them one last piece of advice that to get the courage to expand their business.
One last piece of advice to get the courage to expand the business. Okay. Just do it. If you're afraid for anything, it's never going to happen. Fear is something that we create in our heads. Okay? It doesn't make it real. Nobody's going to die if you try something. Hopefully. Right? If it's not going to kill you or hurt somebody else, give it your shot. As far as I know, we only get one go around on this planet. So if not now, when are you going to do it? Right?
And if they need a little more encouragement or help, I guess they can always contact you also through your website.
Yeah, in fact, the best way to contact me, and possibly even, actually I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a special link for everybody here. JordanAncel.com/entrepreneurs. There, I will make available to you my ebook on communication, and you'll also be able to send me any questions you have or anything that you may want to know about. And if I can help you in any way, I'm certainly happy to. So you have my email address, but probably the best thing to do is go to JordanAncel.com www.jordan.com/entrepreneurs. That's just for you guys, okay?
That's such a wonderful offer, Jordan. Thank you so much. That's generous. So Jordan just extended his offer not just to give you a free ebook on communication, but also to answer some of your questions. So feel free to send him a message, ask a question, and
absolutely,
he's going to be happy to share some of his expertise with you. Thank you so
absolutely.
much, Jordan. I appreciate you sharing your time with us. And to all of my audience, I will see you in our next episode. Jordan, once again, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Carmen. Bye.
Thank you for watching Entrepreneurs Conquering the World with your host, Carmen Ring.